Welcome back to Wizard Supercoach. Interesting round so far. Few things going our way, few things not. Bevo being Bevo, but that's all to be expected, I guess, at this point. Guess I'll get straight into it. I'll just review the game, starting with the most recent and go backwards. Something a bit different. So Geelong actually look pretty good, I think, this year. They're not what I thought they'd be, so that may explain why Tom Stewart isn't going as well as expected. So Libba had a redemption game, 155. So for the people that held him, he really repaid the faith there. Bomp 141. If he could hit more targets, that would have been a huge game, probably like 160, 170. But yeah, he's doing exactly what we want, I guess. He's going to lose a tiny bit of money, but he's still pretty much out of reach unless you want to blow up your team to get him. English 117, that's pretty good. I'm looking at moving Grundy to him this week, hopefully. And yeah, that kind of score makes it a lot easier. Darcy 84, so that was really good. I was relieved at that one because I bought him in this week and decided to field him, which was a bit of a risk. A lot of people bought in Dempsey instead, and I didn't because I just wanted the cash and it didn't really fit what I was trying to do at the time. Obviously, I'd love to have Dempsey. I think he's going to be like the one that got away, but I'm more after money than the points on the field here. So for Darcy to beat him just this week when I needed it, in terms of points, was really handy. Sanders 82. So these two, they're TOG 55 and 64. That's pretty disgusting, given that they were both probably two of the best players for the Bulldogs tonight. And Bevo just insists on being a terrorist and not giving them game time and things like that. The man's an idiot. Just sack him if you're serious about your footy club. Do something, Bulldogs board. What else have the Bulldogs got? It kind of gets a bit thin after you get past the top half there. Karmas 53. I think that he was definitely underscored, given that he took so many intercepts and stuff. I thought he was really good. I guess it sometimes just doesn't translate to Supercoach, but then again, we don't exactly know the formula, so it's hard to argue sometimes without any facts behind it. Caleb Daniels subbed out. That was a strange one. I know he was quiet, but just Bevo doing Bevo things, I guess. And even stranger was McRae starting as the sub. 6 touches in nearly a quarter, so that's an interesting one. I think there's definitely more going on there. I don't think it's just McRae's drop in form or whatever, and Bevo maybe trying to phase him out for Sanders. I think there's definitely more going on that hasn't come out yet. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if McRae is at a different club next year. Bramble 32, so if you bought him in, you'd be spewing. I guess the logic wasn't too bad. He'd been doing good up till this point, but yeah, that'd be really disappointing. Geelong aren't exactly the most Supercoach relevant team as usual, outside of Dempsey, I think. Holmes 97, so for people that picked him as a bit of a underpriced pod, I guess, he's not doing too bad. Bose 90, I've said this for ages, like, I don't think he's Supercoach relevant, but when he plays, he looks like one of Geelong's best midfielders, and Chris Scott just keeps playing him out of position all the time. So when he's given like close to a full game or whatever he is, 73 TOG, so not perfect, but yeah, just leave him out there. Well, he scores 90s and stuff, and yeah, he's done well. 2 goals. Dempsey, the 80, that's going to hurt, obviously. He's going to make a shit ton of cash again, but I think that ship has sailed. Unless he really is as good as some people are talking him up to be right now. The way they're raving on, you'd think he might be a keeper, but I mean, he's great. He's doing great for a rookie, but I don't think he's that good. But if he is, if you truly believe that he is that good, then he's still low enough in price that you could get him. Like we went and got Tom Power, who was more expensive at the time, believing that he could be a keeper. So I don't see anything wrong with getting Dempsey at that price if you think that he's going to be some sort of keeper. Stewart 77, really disappointing. He dropped a few marks there, especially in the last quarter. Spent a fair bit of time on the bench in the third, getting his hamstrings rubbed. I don't know what to make of it. He doesn't look quite right all year. Just like maybe natural decline going on because of his age. I hope not, but yeah, I'm hoping it's just because Geelong are playing better than was expected at the moment, so the ball's not living in their defence as much. I don't know. Have to keep an eye on it, but he's definitely not worth trading out or anything yet, so I'm not too worried. There's not really anything else, is there, with Geelong? Oh, Jai Clark, 28, so I don't know. He hasn't made enough money that you could really trade him. There's no one really obvious to go to yet either, so probably just have to ride that roller coaster, I think. Subbed out. But yeah, 13 touches in basically a half. It's not too bad. Like, take away the 2 free kicks against here and the 3 clangers. 13 and a half is probably going to get you like a decent score most weeks. So yeah, his cash gen might be stunted for a while, but if you've got guys like Sharp and that, it probably offsets it and you can hold on to him. So I'm not even going to comment on this game, like the result and stuff. I'm just going to purely stick to Supercoach. Jeremy Sharp, 126. Now, this one hurt. It shouldn't because I'm an owner and he's going to make tons of cash now. But I had him stranded on the bench as emergency and I couldn't even get a non-playing player onto the field so I could get the points. So having Sanders on, or even worse, McKercher, let's say, yeah, comparing to McKercher, I lost like 70 points. So that's a tough one. Obviously, definitely happy that he made the cash, but yeah, it stings a bit. Brayshaw still scoring, even though he's the one missing out on CBAs. 124 is pretty good. He just finds the ball no matter where he is. I think he's a bit like Sam Flanders. Hayden Young, 119 again. This is really annoying. I started him, and obviously the first 2 weeks he was horrendous, and the last 2 weeks he's been doing exactly what we expected he would do. So now I guess got to keep a watch on him. Luke Ryan, 111. Now, he looked like he was going to go like 150 minimum at one point there. He was just scoring out of control. But yeah, he did slow down, luckily. I think Carlton put a bit of attention into him. But still, he looks like he's going to be D1 at this point. So I've got to try and work out a way to get him in, because the way he's playing is just the most Supercoach friendly thing I've ever seen, probably. Fife, another ton. So what's that, 2 for the year, I think. Really, really good. 26 touches. He looked like old Fife again. I know a lot of people jumped off him this week. So bad luck. I can definitely see the merit in why people did. Like, there's always that sub risk and stuff, especially when you see O'Meara is the sub. It almost hints towards it's pre-planned that Fife would come off, but yeah, luckily he didn't. Probably because the game was close. Yeah, just hang on to him and ride the roller coaster, I think. Just hang on to him for now until he gets injured. Hopefully it's not early in a game or something like that, but if you can, even for safety, maybe loop him if you have a non-playing forward or something 1 week. Sarong was pretty quiet, so he still had 26 touches, but 94 Supercoach, so back down to earth for him. Should be able to get him cheaper, I think. I was toying with the idea of jumping on him this week, but went Tom Green instead, so I'm glad I did that, because I feel like Sarong's price is going to be more gettable than Green. Even if Green probably scores similar tomorrow, which I doubt. But Sunday's usually a shit show, so maybe he will. Jackson also back down to earth, 91. What I think happened here is that Jackson, his advantage in the ruck is that he's so athletic and he runs around and stuff, and the big boys, or the chunkier kind of rucks, they can't really deal with his athleticism. And who's the Tom DeConning, so he's quite athletic himself. I think it kind of nullified Jackson's advantage there. Like, he still had 21 touches, but yeah, he wasn't having it all his own way in the air and stuff. Only took the 4 marks, so hats off to Tom DeConning. Not Supercoach relevant, but yeah, well done there for all the Jackson non-owners. You've made us all happy. Jordan Clark, 84. Um, he was definitely one to watch. He's had 30 touches, but yeah, why has he got the Muppet sign here? Oh, he's the one that, yeah, okay. He's the one that did the umpire descent, I think. Uh, Someone tell me in the comments how many points he lost for that. Because looking at this stat line, he looks underscored, so yeah, 84. I thought he would have tonned at least. Yeah, right. There's not much more here for Frio. Draper, 21. That hurts for anyone that traded him in. I guess it's kind of similar to like Pink last week or Howes or just all of the defender rookies are just all trash at the moment. Um, yeah, I don't even know what to do there, honestly. It's a bit early. The round hasn't even finished, but I don't know how to fix that. I need to get Howes off the field, and I'm not sure how exactly to do that if I want to get English as well. I don't want to use another boost. Anyway, Hewitt 103. So he was pretty quiet for the first few quarters, I guess. I think he was the one that put the work into Luke Ryan. So maybe Ryan started leading him to the ball or something. I don't know. Or was it Kennedy? I can't remember. But yeah, Hewitt seems to have recovered there. So Cripps 101. I honestly don't think he's that relevant anymore. Well, what else is there? Williams 81. So he did his usual again. He started out really good and just completely tapered off by the end. Actually, he didn't do it as bad today. I think 81's probably his highest score for the year as well. So he probably is improving. He's probably getting more match fitness and stuff. But yeah, he's so far he's a bit more of a slow burn than I think everyone expected him to be. But yeah, he's fine to hold if he's still getting like 70s and 80s on the field. That's good. Harry Mackay 75, so didn't even get a goal. I don't know how many people still have him, but yeah, maybe time to jump off. He's probably made the money that you wanted. Carroll 66, so he's just consistently getting those high 60s and stuff. It is interesting that he was being compared directly to Sharp, and a lot of people were saying that Carroll was the better pick. Sharp's definitely blown him out of the water now. And with Walsh coming back, I think next week, by the look of it, Carroll's, I don't know, his job security is probably not that great. Wow, what a difference a week makes. Look at Elijah Hollins. He tonned last week. He's injured again. Okay. Alright, this game was pretty shit to watch. Especially because of the commentary. You would have sworn that the only person on the field was Harley Reid. He was good though, obviously. So Yo 130, that's massive considering his price. McGovern 113 just keeps getting it done. Surely he's going to break down at some point. Like, I picked him last year and I thought he was the ticket and he was scoring really good, and then he obviously got injured real early in, I think it was the game against Fremantle. And then I thought again this year, like at his price, he looked great in the preseason stuff, but I just couldn't do it because of his injury history and stuff. And so far, he is looking really good, like physically. So I don't know, if he goes the whole season like this, I'm going to be pissed off. I can't bring myself to do it though. If I trade him in now, he is going to tear his hamstring off the bone next week. Harley Reid, so 91, another one that I had trapped on the bench. Yeah, not ideal, but in terms of cash, that's good. Like, it's going to kickstart his cash gen again. Just hopefully he doesn't put in another 55 or something next week. But yeah, it's better to have these players like scoring on the bench than to not have them at all. Again, West Coast, another team that's not really fantasy relevant, or Supercoach relevant, I should say. Rawlinson, poor dude, started as a sub in his first game. Didn't really, I guess he got a half here, but yeah, he didn't show enough to suggest he's going to be a pick. Heaney 165, Jesus Christ, he went huge in the last quarter. I should have captained him. I just played it safe and took the 129 from Gorn, which I guess, yeah, what's that, lost me about 72 points. So, yeah, not ideal, but whatever. Just happy to have Heaney in the team. He'd have to be on, at this point, he'd have taken 3 votes from every game, right, in the Brownlow? At the very least, he'd have like 3 threes and a 2. Yeah, the Lizard 138. So this is the kind of roller coaster scoring you're going to see from him. Although I think he has turned the corner. His floor is definitely a lot higher than it was in the previous couple of years. Goulden 129. I think people would have expected higher from him. He hasn't quite looked himself this year. It's almost like Heaney's the main man now, and a few other players have stepped up. Goulden's not doing it all. Not a bad thing at all. Adams was pretty good, 97 in, well, just over a half. So, yeah, keep an eye on him, although don't trust his injury history at all. Grundy, 93. This is really disappointing. Now, 93 in isolation isn't a terrible score, but when you consider that every single ruckman that's played West Coast has top scored so far, and then Grundy goes and rolls in a 93, and BJ Williams nearly caught him. Like, he got 75, so that was just shit house from Grundy, honestly. He can't hit a target, and he just, I don't know, he just walks around and stuff. He's really frustrating to watch, so I got to get rid of him. I think I'm going to get English, but we'll see. There might be bigger problems, I think. Roberts 80, so again, really good. If he can just keep going like in that 70 to 90 bracket, I'll be really happy. He's already made a shit ton of cash. He's going to make a shit ton more, and he's going to get DPP at the end of round 6. So I think he's the answer. He and McKercher are probably the answers to this defensive rookie issue. If we can somehow just ride it out until the end of round 6 and not have to trade out any of those shitty defensive rookies yet, and take a risk on more shitty defensive rookies, we should be able to swing them out and then get new midfield rookies in. Jordan, really, really, really disappointing. He did his usual where he does jack shit for the first half, and then because he's really fit, he starts scoring towards the end, but the time runs out, and you're left with scores like this. He'll be going this week. Obviously, the Sydney bye, so yeah, enjoy China. But he hasn't been a bad pick, to be honest. Like, he hasn't done what I thought he'd do, but he hasn't been terrible. He's a good stepping stone, at least. Oh, the poor Sydney sub, he didn't even get used. Okay, so Port were really good against Essendon. Now, I didn't watch this game, unfortunately, because I had to work. Massive captain's game from Rosie, though. 36 and 3 goals. I know he's been criticised in the past that he doesn't quite have the ceiling that Butters has. It's probably true, but that's a pretty good score. Horn Francis made a nice return there. Wines was left out with that hamstring issue, so he had to go. I had to trade him out. But yeah, I don't know if it's even worth them giving Wines heaps of CBAs when he comes back, given this demolition job from these top 3 here. So Butters 119. I saw some people were actually disappointed with that, but honestly, if that's your biggest problem in your team, you must be like ranked first or something. Willem Drew 104 again. He's one to keep an eye on. He's just quietly going about it and just keeps turning up. I almost feel like he's the reason why it's not Wines, it's Drew that's the issue why Butters and that aren't getting the usual CBAs now. I think Kenny is just trying to find some way of keeping Drew in there. Soldo 92, okay. I know some people picked him. Hasn't been too bad actually. I think he had one really shitty game, but the rest have been okay. Finlayson, he's in hot water. Not that that's really Supercoach relevant at all. So I'll just avoid that one. Yeah, there's not much else there for Port, I guess. Oh, where's Houston? Oh, 106. Okay, so yeah, he looks like he's just going to get that 105 average pretty much every week. So far, it looks like his ceiling is gone because of you got Farrell here, and who's the other one? Is it Burton? Yeah, they're kind of all just sharing it off half back. Houston doesn't take kick-ins, so he's not got that extra avenue to score. Merritt 136. I'm just counting down the days so I can get him in the team. It doesn't seem to matter how badly Essendon go. He always goes well himself. But yeah, not yet. Hopefully he drops in price, but I don't know. I can't see him getting below 600 now. Nick Martin 133. This hurts again. It's like the Hayden Young one. I got rid of him. Yeah, this one's just annoying because more than Hayden Young, I think that I'll look to get Martin back in if he continues this shit up. I'm definitely not one of those people that, like, if I've traded a player out, I'll just, not get them back in just because, to spite them or think that you somehow, you're committed to that choice. I mean, it's no different as getting another player. Especially with the 40 trades, you can probably get away with it. But yeah, he's at 35 again. It seems like other teams are putting no work into him whatsoever. They don't give a shit if he has the ball. I wouldn't say in the games I have watched, these look particularly damaging, and that's probably why. But yeah, if he's going to keep just racking up like 35 every week and pumping out tons, he's going to have to come back. Heppel 96, I don't know how, but he keeps scoring quite well. I thought he was on the scrap heap last year. Satterfield 73, so if anyone got sucked in by him again, that's what he does to you. Should have learnt your lesson last year. McGrath 69, he's been really good, so he's another one. Yes, the kind of scores you'll get with him occasionally. That's why he's never going to be a pick, because his floor is too low. Redmond really quiet, 55. Port are really good at restricting halfbacks, traditionally, but it doesn't seem to apply to Martin for some reason. Wow, Draper's had a mare. Okay, so here's another game that was like a non-event, really. It was just a case of how much Brisbane were going to win by. North never really looked in it. Wow, Danaher, 5 goals, okay. Dunkley 122, he's flying under the radar. Neil 125, he's also flying under the radar, I think. People are put off by his age and probably a natural decline, but I think he's been scoring pretty well. Even Hipwood tunned. What a game. Hipwood's a massive spud. Zorko 96, so he's got that half back roll now. I just can't trust his body and his age. I think he's like 35 or something. Plus he's a flog, so I'm not picking him. I don't want to cheer for him every week. I don't even have a single Brisbane player. I don't think they're that relevant Supercoach wise. There's nothing really here to talk about. Lohman 88, I guess. Yeah, that's gonna restart his cash gen. Let's move straight to North because that's where all the action is, Supercoach wise. Comben 129, so keep an eye on him. It's a pity he's not rookie price. He's like in the 200s somewhere. But yeah, we got another week to look at him, I think, so definitely keep an eye on him. He could be one that could really solve those defensive issues that I talked about before. She's a 124, pretty standard. Pretty crazy that a player like 124 standard in his second year. He's just an absolute animal. He looks better than Dacos at the moment, honestly. At least he wins his own ball. Wardlaw 78. He was never really a pick in my opinion. Dawson 76. Is he rookie priced? I can't. There's all these guys for North. I just get them all mixed up. Like I don't even know what they look like. Fisher 75. So I traded him out. So it's good that he didn't ton, but he didn't look too bad. He probably would have been fine to hold for another week. Power 73. He was disappointing. 15 tackles though, and 14 touches. So how the hell has he only got 73? I have a theory about this stuff in Supercoach. So I'm only basing this on eye test, nothing else. So I could be wrong, and it could just be tinfoil hat stuff. Whenever you see players in a game get a really high tackle count, it's almost like champion data start giving them less points for everything else. My theory is that champion data don't rate tackles very highly in terms of impact, so these players are constantly getting scaled down. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments, because it's really annoying. It's the only explanation I can think of, but it happens just so often. But yeah, he's still fine, I guess. He's had a bit of an off day. He's been good all year. He may not be F6, but who cares? He's made like 100k already, so if he has to move on eventually, at least he's been alright and made money. So yeah, if you got on him early enough like I did, there's no problem there. McKercher 54, that was disappointing, but I guess that's what you're going to get. We'll cut him some slack because he's a rookie, and it was always going to be hard for the kind of role that he plays on a tiny oval like Norwood. The shape of that thing is disgusting. It's like a basketball court with two rounded ends on it. I'll go to the next game then. So the last game, so Crom and the Demons. This was tough to watch being a Crom supporter. There's definite improvement there, but yeah, still not. Something's wrong still. Can't even hit 15-metre kicks, but anyway, I'll stick to Supercoach. Saligo 128. He has to stay in the midfield. If he does, he's worth a look, because he's that different kind of player in there. He's got the dash, he takes it on, breaks tackles. Yeah, I'm not saying to pick him yet, but definitely keep an eye on him. Hinge 119. Now, I don't know how he even scored that, because he couldn't hit a target. I don't know how he's on 79 disposal efficiency here. It must have all been with... He must have gone 100% with handballs or something to get that. He's just, yeah, not reliable off the halfback. But he's only got the two clangers, so I don't know. Maybe I remember it wrong. Laird 116, again, very consistent. Another one like Lockie Neal that's flying under the radar. Brodie Smith, good return to form. People saying that he was finished. He's not. Dawson, he teased here. I don't own him, so I don't really care, but yeah, he looked like he was going to go big, and then he could only scrape a 99. Again, by foot, he was pretty low. He's down to like 48% for the year. So yeah, real disappointing in terms of watching as a supporter, but in Supercoach, yeah, I don't know. He's going to be cheap, so definitely one to watch, because he is an elite kick, and he will eventually find his accuracy again. I think he needs to go to the half-back for a while. Get Saligo with Crouch and Laird in the middle. Speaking of Crouch, he had 30 again. 67 Tog. Imagine if he was one that could play like 80. So he's almost gone the ton. It's his lowest score of the year, so I'm not worried at all. A lot of people criticised him. Only 107 metres gained from 30 touches. That's not his job. His job is to win the contested ball and give it to guys like Dawson and Saligo who are coming past. It's not his fault that Guys like Dawson at the moment can't hit a target. I mean, you're not going to criticize a ruck because he's not getting a ton of running bounces or meters gained or anything. It's not his job. It's not Crouch's job either. So I don't know. I just think the people that hang shit on Crouch, especially Crow supporters, they just don't know ball. They just revert back to the same old thing of, oh, Crouch just handballs to people under pressure. Crouch can't hit a target. It's not true. He's been hitting targets all year. Admittedly, this game he hit a little less, 66%, but yeah, in terms of the year, he's been great and he'd be winning the BNF right now. Mark Keane, 90, so he backed up that 120 or whatever he got last week. He's taken a lot of the kick-ins. He's playing really well. I still don't think he's a pick at his price because I can see him definitely dropping off either this week or next week. I don't think he's that consistent yet. I think Worrell's done similar before and he's dropped back as well. Probably never went 120, but yeah, it's a bit like that in the Crom back line right now. Rankin 88, so he's just going to be around that all year, I think. Nankervis 68. He should keep his spot, I think. The only problem is he and Cook, so they had their first games of the year. They've played before, so they're not rookie priced. I think they're up around like 220k or something like that. I'd have to check. But yeah, he looked alright. Nankervis looked like he tried hard, so. O'Brien got bathed by Gawn. I know he won the hitouts, or like they tied on the hitouts, but yeah, around the ground, Gawn smashed him. And there's no shame in that. Gawn's amazing. Rochelle, he's having a shocking season. He tries to do too much. He seems to have maybe an attitude problem or something. Definitely tries to make it about himself. He could be a Supercoach pick if he dropped all that shit. Sorry. Sam Berry, if anyone's still got him, God, get him out your team. Glad I didn't get sucked into starting him. Almost did. But yeah, not again. Oh, Burgess subbed out on 15, so that's killed his cash gen. He was never going to be a pick, I think. Like, never a really good one anyway. He was brought in for depth. So Gawn 129. Safe captain pick, or VC or whatever. Admittedly, the 129 is a little awkward, I guess, with some of the scores others have been putting up this year. But you just got to take it, I think. Like, at least it's a sure thing. McVee 119. Where was this last year when he was a rookie and we needed this kind of shit out of him? It feels like he's taken Howe's points, but maybe that's just the salty owner in me talking. Petrarca, oh yeah, I miss Petrarca 140. Yeah, he's just going to be the main man all year. Oliver's not. He's not going to return to his top form this year, so Petrarca's a fine pick. He'll keep doing this to pick up the slack while Oliver's off his game. Oliver 62, Jesus. So he's going to get real cheap. I still wouldn't even bring him in though. Even at 500k or whatever, unless he starts to show something. Billings 54, so I traded him out this week. It was good to see that. If you watched the last episode, you'd know that I said that Billings would probably go big on the Crom. Luckily, the Crom put in a much better effort this week, so yeah, he wasn't able to get all those cheapies down the wing like other teams have on the Crom. And then Howe's 46, so that hurts. Had him on the field. He kind of saved it at the end with a few good plays there. It was looking like he was going to get like a 20 or something, so 46, I guess it's not the end of the world, but it's not ideal. So yeah, that's the round so far. I guess things aren't going too bad, as I said at the start. It's mainly just Bevo giving me the shits, to be honest, and having rookies stuck on the bench. But as I said, that's not the worst thing. You still get the cash, offsets it a bit. But yeah, tomorrow is Sunday, and Sunday is always the worst day. It's when everything turns to shit. So Um, yeah, I'm not even looking forward to watching the games tomorrow because something always happens, and it's very hard to enjoy games when you're invested in Supercoach. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Hopefully, everyone else is having a better time this round, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.